Happy Monday, everybody. I shouldn't say that. That's such a terrible line. But regardless, it is Monday, but it's a good Monday. Why, Francis? Because this week, the NCAA Tournament tips off. It's one of the most fun times of the sporting year because right after the NCAA Tournament, opening day for baseball begins. Which is what everybody thinks.
Shook that comment off.
During this time.
Just shook it off.
Francis, I know before you even loved the National Basketball Association, you were, just like I was blown away by the Champions League, you were blown away by how much fun the college basketball tournament is. Who's going to win?
It's remarkable. I'm going to
go
go
out there. No, go for
Kentucky.
it. Kentucky. Wow, you're
but
an ass.
The reason I think that again, it's the same reasons that I'll reiterate. It's completely everything that is wrong with professional sports is almost eradicated through like college sports. Like they don't have, a lot of them are playing to put themselves in the shop window, but they're not bought in a way. Well, they should be getting paid, but either way, they're out there and it's so passionate, man. And I love the fans and I love the atmosphere. But I just hate how every year like people act surprised when an upset happens. Never seen that one happening. Like every year there's an upset.
Except the only thing that hasn't happened in the history of the tournament is that no 1 seed's ever lost to a 16 seed. And that's like the only time where I think the complete, oh my God, bracket busted is an acceptable term because last year Michigan State lost as a 2 seed and screwed up half the country's brackets. We have a few elements to get to though, Francis. You're talking about some of the stereotypes when it comes to making your bracket. None better than emphasized through SpongeBob. Bleacher Report made a great little viral video, and it was pretty funny. And they promoted it because they're Bleacher Report, so they made it and they put it up top, and we're going to use it. So thank you to them.
I'm doing it. I'm doing it. Yeah, yeah. And some of these, and some of these. Almost there, and done. Now let's see how it looks so far.
Duke.
That's gonna happen.
That's true though. It's funny though, because they're all wrong. My Rhode Island Rams are going to win it all as an 11 seed. Did you see we won the Atlantic 10 tournament?
I saw it.
Did you see how excited
I saw your
was?
Snapchat. I followed through your Snapchat.
You know it's been since 1999 that we've been in the tournament. Do you know who played in 1999?
Who?
Lamar Odom. Do you know who might go? Lamar Odom. Do you know who might be there with an Odom? A Kardashian.
Interest peaked.
Last 4 out, of course, this is another thing that we talked about last season too. Syracuse was like 18-14, made the tournament. I completely trashed the idea of them because they don't deserve to be there, and then they made the Final Four.
Yeah.
This year, just replace the big orange S with a nice old green M because that Syracuse of last year is Michigan State. But the last 4 out this year, I think it was who was it, Chad Leskow who put it out. Like, yeah, Illinois State got robbed. Their RPI, which is like your strength of schedule, 33rd in the nation, and they won 27 games. Except, though, here's the thing, Illinois State doesn't pack the seats like number 8 Michigan State does, or even number, 8 Miami does. Michigan State's a 9 seed, actually. Or number 6 Cincinnati does. Look, there's 68 teams who get into the tournament. There's always gonna be 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 who got completely screwed out. And sorry, Illinois State wasn't going to win the tournament anyway.
Well, last year you look at it. I mean, UCLA last year was another case where you were like, really? I mean, you haven't.
That was another one.
That was,
and they made a run.
Yeah, they made a run, and because that's when it comes to the tournament, I'm under the firm belief that you suspend any sort of, your season, your campaign can kind of give you an idea, but that's why I love this tournament. There's magic there. There's anything can quite literally happen. You said Syracuse last year had no place in the tournament. I remember echoing those statements to the point where and then they went to the Final Four, and that is part of the magic of this thing is that it's so unpredictable. Anything can give way, but I will have my eyes peeled to see what sort of unsportsmanlike behavior Grayson Allen will get up to and whether or not he'll be called out on his BS. That's the real reason I think that I want Duke to fail. I know there's plenty of reasons for wanting Duke to fail. Everyone aside from Duke alumni want Duke to fail.
100% true.
But I just watched back like a story concerning about all the things that Grayson Allen's been doing on the court. And it's just
he's a child.
Yeah, it's just like
he's a child.
I don't condemn and I don't want to promote someone taking action to stop him. But I know one of the analysts was like, I'm surprised someone hasn't taken him out.
Said, I think it was Michelle Beadle on ESPN who said like he's going to get hit.
Yeah.
And while you're not supposed to use your word echo those sentiments, when you're ESPN or anything like that, she wasn't necessarily wrong, just ethically she was wrong.
Yeah.
Because if this was like Fab 5 Michigan era, like every player that played against that Michigan team, they wanted to knock out Jalen Rose. They wanted to knock out Juwan Howard. They wanted to knock out that entire team, Chris Webber especially. And a lot of them did. Michigan's still relatively successful. They made the Final Four and then made the championship game, but never ended up winning the tournament. But still really fun documentary they did from ESPN in itself. If you want to join the TYT Sports Bracket Challenge, you did it last year. There's like over 150 entries. I did not come in first, but I did come in second out of TYT people. You go to, we'll leave the link in the comment section below. There's a little how-to video on Facebook. It's also on the Facebook page. It's really, really simple. You have to have like an ESPN login, and if you don't, you can do it through Facebook, Yahoo, Twitter, Instagram. There's no excuses. You'll have a free chance to win like a t-shirt or something. We'll decide on what we want to give you based on how I do. If I'm winning the whole thing, I'll be like, hey, you know what? Maybe we'll give out a car.
Maybe it's $1,000. Maybe it's $1,000 win to anyone who is me.
Right. If it's me, I'll get in. We'll go with an accurate TLX. I think that's what you can win if you win the entire ESPN bracket challenge. And then really quick, those who want to know, I don't spend a lot of time making my brackets. I make 2. Here's my Final Four: Michigan, Kentucky, Arizona, and Duke. No 1 seeds, because sure, let's be contrarian. Picking all 1 seeds is always a good idea. And then I have Kentucky. That's because you stole it from me.
I didn't even know you were going to take it.
Yeah, well, why not? Because there's a couple really quick stereotypes we can go over. There's picking based on merit, right? They'll be like, well, all 1 seeds. Well, Kansas, Villanova, Gonzaga, and UNC are the best 4 teams in the country. Therefore, they will be in the Final Four, and one of those teams will win the championship, Francis. Right? That's how analysis. That's how the analysis. Some of the analysis.
Did we not have on?
And then you get the. Now look, I think SMU's a great team. Defensively, they're a good team. I know that. They're also really well coached. And again, you can add any cliche in there. That just happens to be true. And then you hear like this morning on All Sports Radio, yeah, I got SMU upsetting Duke in the Elite 8 at Madison Square Garden, man. I think SMU's got it this year. There is an equal chance that SMU makes the 8 seed as they do to get completely knocked out by South Carolina in the first round. Equal chance. It's equal. I don't care when people say, oh, they're the 6th seed, they're favored 83% to win. Tell me that happens when Winthrop beats Butler.
Did we not have on like a statistician or something like that a couple of years ago?
I think we did. We had the guy who does the math behind what the odds are to pick a perfect bracket.
Yeah, that was it.
Basically, you have a better chance
winning the lottery,
of going on a date with Jessica Alba than you do.
Bit by a great white shark. There was plenty of other ones that have been bit by Luis Suarez. There was plenty of things that were more likely than you picking up.
Suarez has done it like 3 times.
Exactly, more likely.
Sharks.
How many perfect brackets have you picked?
3.
I don't believe it. 3
to the team. What do you mean? Of course you don't believe me. No one's ever picked a perfect bracket. Although, then you should sign up for the ESPN one because it's like you can. The top 10, I think, get like a free Aruba vacation.
Aruba. I'm in.
Aruba. We'll post my bracket, your bracket, and stuff like that on the Facebook page. In terms of the tournament itself, Kansas, sure. Duke, sure. Arizona, they're playing the championship game in Glendale, Arizona. So that's a possible, little motivation factor. There's a lot of hype around these teams, though. Northwestern, there's a lot of hype to upset Gonzaga in the 2nd round, is what I've been hearing and/or reading. As I mentioned before, SMU has a lot of love from every guy like Joe Lenardi and the bracketology people and Dickie V, baby. Careful with UCLA. That's my only warning. I think they're an extremely fun team. I think that they're slightly overrated just because of Lonzo Ball. But we've seen players take over a tournament. So if he gets hot from 3 all game long. Buddy Hield carried Oklahoma to the Final Four, right?
Yep.
And then they got completely stomped on.
Yes.
Yeah, that was rough. Dan, who's winning the tournament?
Kentucky?
Yeah, we all got Kentucky. I got Kentucky in 1 and Kansas in the other. And then
boring.
My 3rd bracket, if you saw on the Instagram, I put Rhode Island beats Villanova 120-10. Rams. Comment below.